What we're supposed to talk about today is, which you've already landed, line into it, is number one on this day in 1943, 1945, 1948. Feast of the Humility of Mary, July 17th. She received the community's habit on July 17th, 1943. On July 17th, 1945, she took her first vows. Where's your picture? Oh, there it is. Let me blow that up. Okay, so we have something to look at. She took her first vows. Get that out of the way. Well, on July 17th, 1945, and her perpetual vows is Sister Margaret Mary Siegfried H.M. on July 17th, 1948. Now, the joke is that you get lots of congratulations on July 17th because all your anniversaries. I even sent you an email congratulating you.
Yeah, I received it. Thank you.
I thought I was kind of as a joke because I'm sure you got I'm sure you got lots of people congratulate. You walk around and you congratulate each other on July 17th, right? Because
Right.
everybody's has the same anniversary. Okay, and then this picture here is I have it as the Sisters of Humility of Mary. Do you recognize that?
Yes, I do. Go ahead. Go.
What is that? That says it's the Sisters of Humility of Mary. It must be a statue at the villa.
It's in the chapel. This one right here. Yeah, it was
And what is it called? Is it just called uh
Blessed Mother.
okay.
Uh,
All right, very good. That was number one on the list. We have to remember Alice Pillot Naegeli died July 16th, 1941. I think maybe that's her remembrance card. We did a pretty good job of remembering her last year, but we'll remember her again. Of course, that's my grandmother and Cindy's grandmother.
very, very
And
beautiful.
unfortunately, she died of Parkinson disease, turns out. But I won't go into details. That's what she died of.
Oh,
July 13th, yeah, it wasn't a pleasant illness. July 13th, well, we'll remember Elizabeth Andy's Knapp too. July 10th, 1871. Okay, so we can show a picture of her. That's her right there. That's Elizabeth. That would be great, great. 1871 is when she died. So, and then, of course, too bad Linda isn't here because she may be actually that might actually be an ancestor of hers as well. But we don't go through lots of children, lots of reasons to appreciate her. Okay, summary of the Zoom meeting. I'm gonna do that one last because I gotta have to go off. I'm going to read a story about Daisy Pillot. That was on my agenda also. I'll read this. This is a picture, AI picture. Let me get this out of the way. And then of course this is their I try to get to move that there. Let me try to move that out of the way. Move that. So that's obviously not Daisy Pellet. That's an artificial intelligence uh, image. What we're commemorating here is his day he was mustered out of the army. Let me just read this story. Battalion flag, okay, that's not the flag of the United States. So you can look at the picture, AI picture. July 13th, 1865, was a bittersweet day for Daisy Pillot as he stood alongside his fellow soldiers of the 43rd Ohio Infantry, preparing to be mustered out of the Army. As he looked around at the familiar faces, he couldn't help but feel a mix of emotions, relief, sadness, and pride. Daisy thought back to the early days of the war when he and his comrades had enlisted to fight for the Union. They had faced their first test in battle at New Madrid, Missouri, and had gone on to fight bravely at Lucca and Corinth. Memories of those battles still lingered vividly in his mind. The sounds of gunfire, the smell of smoke and sweat, the cries of the wounded. As he reminisced, Daisy recalled the long marches, the endless battles of skirmishing, and the brutal battles that had taken a toll on the regiment. He remembered the siege of Kennesaw Mountain, the charge at Big Shanty, and the triumphant march through the Carolinas. The faces of his fallen comrades flashed before his eyes, and he felt a pang of sorrow for those who had not made it to see the war's end. But amidst the sadness, Daisy felt an overwhelming sense of pride. He and his fellow soldiers had fought for a noble cause, and their sacrifices had helped to preserve the Union. They had faced unimaginable hardships and had emerged victoriously, their bond and camaraderie forged in the fire of battle. As the mustering out ceremony drew to a close, Daisy felt a sense of nostalgia wash over him. He would miss the brotherhood, the sense of purpose, and the thrill of adventure that had defined his time in the Army. But he knew that he would carry the memories of his time in the 43rd Ohio Infantry with him for the rest of his life, and that the lessons he had learned would stay with him forever. With a sense of finality, the ceremony came to an end, and Daisy Pillot was officially discharged from the Army. He took a deep breath, shouldered his pack, and walked away from the Army, ready to start a new chapter in his life. And of course, he was a young man. You know, we were used to seeing pictures of Daisy as an old man, but he was a young man back then. All right, the last thing on the agenda is just to review. How do I get out of this thing? Oh, here, just exit.